Hola, hola todos, I hope you're doing well. I'm so excited to have you back for another video, especially because this one we're going to be talking about how to balance college and side hustles as a first-gen college student. Now, the reason why I really wanted to sit down and create this video is because one, I know from my own personal experiences as a first-gen Latina student who was trying to find her way not just through higher education, but also career-wise, prep for postgrad and all that fun stuff. This topic hits home for me. Going to school y luego spending my weekends working at a diner to make that extra side hustle money while creating Cafecito con Estrellita to bring in my audience, keep them entertained, and keeping Cafecito con Estrellita up to date. Hence, why now, till this day, Cafecito con Estrellita is my full-time job. And the reason why I'm telling you all of this is because first gen, you deserve the world. And you deserve to be given the tools, the consejos that are going to help you get ahead with whatever it is that you want to do with your life. And with the lessons we share here at Cafecito con Estrellita, if that helps you prep better for postgrad life, I will continue to do so. And I'm not gonna lie, having side hustles while in college, it is a lot of work, but it is truly worth it, and you are worth it. The sacrifices that you make with regarding how you want to carve out the path for your future is so worth it. And I want you to remember that. Because a lot of the times when it feels like you only hear crickets, especially when navigating the workload of college and keeping up your side hustles, I want you to know you are not alone, because there are so many that relate to you. And two, I just want you to always keep in mind that future you, whether it's 5-10 years from now, will be looking back and thanking you for the sacrifices you made to put future you in the position they always wanted to be in. Now, with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the tips for this video on how to navigate college and side hustles as a first-generation student. All right, numero uno, come up with a plan. Yes, it's fun to do so many different things, explore different avenues and paths regarding your degrees and side hustles. However, if there isn't a plan in place, then what exactly are you working towards? What goals are you trying to achieve with that said side hustle? Are you trying to earn extra income? Are you trying to expand your network with the work of this side hustle? Whatever the case may be. And do you specifically want to work on side hustles that are in person or virtual, media-based, all that fun stuff? Because we are in a day and age, 2025, where so many things can be done virtually, but it just goes back to what you would like to do, the different skill sets that you can develop and use to create a successful side hustle. So let's say you want your side hustle to be content creation. How is your plan going to look like with you creating content? Are you going to be making more video content, more static post content on Instagram? Are you going to be doing blogs? Blogs and vlogs, two different things, but you know what I mean. Or are you going to be more focused with in-person side hustles? My experience, that has been anything from hosting at restaurants, serving at restaurants, being a choreographer for quinceañeras. With all of this in mind, again, I just want you to sit down and make the plan. Is your side hustle for the long term or short term? Because here's the thing, a lot of the in-person side hustles that you can do, such as what I've mentioned, dining, serving at restaurants, as well as being a choreographer for a quinceañera, those side hustles, at least for me, were definitely more short-term, especially given the fact that I was at a university, making sure that I could have the tangible tools needed to move up in my career. Now with my virtual side hustle, Cafecito con Estrellita, creating content, networking with brands virtually, all that fun stuff, a lot of that side hustle work was definitely prepping me for the long run. Because here's the thing, at least in my experience, a lot of the in-person side hustles that I have done, I was able to get money up front. Now with virtual side hustles, it takes time because you have to build your brand, your portfolio, whatever that looks like. However, since it is for the long run, inevitably once you build your social media presence, you will be able to acquire work such as brand deals, such as freelance writing, that you can charge good amounts of money for, but it will take time. So again, I know I threw a lot at you, which is why it's important to sit down, plan out, what do you want with your side hustle while balancing college? Is it a short-term side hustle for you, or is it a long-term side hustle for you? Whatever it is. And remember, virtual type side hustles, content creation, freelance writing, that can be more for the long term. Short-term side hustles tend to be more in person if you really need that money up front, which again, you can do so with serving, you can do so babysitting, whatever the case is. All right, número dos, whatever downtime you have to work on your side hustle, use it. Now, of course, it's definitely important to keep in mind when you want to take time to just self-care, relax, turn off your brain, watch your favorite show. That's super helpful. However, again, if you are working to build something in the long run for you, your personal brand, your career growth, all that fun stuff, it's important to allocate time to crafting and developing your side hustle. So for example, again, let's say you're primarily focusing on content creation, videos, and static posts. And let's say you have a large gap in between classes. Let's say your final class ended at 1:45 and your next class isn't gonna start till 4:45. Consider using that gap time, even if it's just for 1 hour, to sit down and batch create your content. One of the things I did with Cafecito con Estrellita was, again, if I had downtime where I got off of work at 2:37 and I didn't have class till 7 p.m., then I would get home, I would eat, kind of chill and relax, and then afterwards drive to campus. And then once I was on campus, I would literally be in my car and start batch creating my written content. Because at Cafecito con Estrellita, we do video content, but we also do in static posts where I share written reminders, where I share written statements so that my audience can use as a sense of motivation to get through their days. And batch creating that kind of content helped me feel like I was getting ahead, which is super important in regards to building the habits and the longevity of content creation if you have that as a current side hustle that you eventually want to have as a career. And then with batch creating this content and by repurposing strategies on social media. So for example, if I created my instatic post to share on Instagram and it was written, then on TikTok, I would just create into a video where I was sharing that message as a video consejo. I also want to highlight that you can use this downtime to answer your emails or to send out any emails regarding your side hustle. For example, when I had my own column with Mitu about college and postgrad life for first gen, I'll link it down below if you want to check it out. I would use that time to review my email instructions from the editor-in-chief from Mitu to make sure I was following all the guidelines and criteria needed to develop my strong column for first-gen readers. Right, número tres. Now this answer is definitely not the most glamorous, but really, really utilize your Friday and Saturday nights to cultivate your side hustles. For example, if your side hustle is social media and you're also exploring long form content because you want to make sure your social media career can be here for the long run, and long form content definitely plays a huge factor in that, you can use your Friday and Saturday nights to record You can use those Fridays and Saturday nights to record your podcast episodes. You can use those Friday and Saturday nights to research your podcast and YouTube video concepts, interview guests, write out your blogs. Like basically you will be using your Friday and Saturday nights for the heavy core parts of your content job to then make the downtime you have during the week focusing and playing with your content a lot easier. Now, I'm not saying you have to sacrifice every Friday and Saturday night for the dedication of your content creation side hustle, but it is important that you use a lot of Friday and Saturday nights to do so. So again, for example, for me, when I was teaching in the classroom, I also was working at a diner to get that quick money. However, when I would get home from work, I would sit down and schedule send emails for potential podcast guests. I would sit down and write out and research different podcast themes for my episodes. And I'm telling you, the work, it's not glamorous, and you really do have to love it and love the idea of you being able to turn the side hustle into something for you long term that generates good revenue. Sorry, my phone notifications keep going off. But regardless, if you just keep that in mind, it'll make these late nights on the days you preferably may want to go out for a drink and with friends, it'll just make it more worth it. And it's important to remember to use your 20s and early 30s as the time needed to build the stepping stones, the foundation, the strengths of your careers. But don't worry, I'm not saying you should never allow yourself to have a Friday night or Saturday night with friends. No, you can. Just give yourself more Friday night and Saturday night to work on your side hustle, and then maybe throw in there once a month going out with friends. Which brings me to my next point, número 4. Surround yourself with like-minded individuals and friends. You are literally a first-generation college student. You are on a campus filled with so many like-minded individuals, and you are bound to meet people who have shared or can share the lived experiences with you. And there are so many first-gen college students that are on their campuses committed to the hustle, to their futures. And if you surround yourself with friends who are ambitious with their studies, but also ambitious with building things on the side with whatever that is, side hustles, passion projects, whatever that is, just talking to one another will literally help each of you hype each other up as you keep working towards your goals. And it's also a great strategy to network. Now, you're probably thinking, well, how can I find these like-minded individuals that are also committed to their side hustles and passion projects while balancing school? And you can totally meet them at your on-campus mixers, at networking events that are on or off campus, anything like that. Even LinkedIn, you can find them on LinkedIn. Whatever it is, find your people. Study with them, co-work with them. When I say study with them, that's when you would get your college assignments done, you're studying for exams done. And when I say co-working with them, that's when y'all will get together, preferably on a Friday night or Saturday night, and just work on your projects, your content creation, your freelance writing, all that fun stuff. Trust me, there's ways to make the work of your side hustle fun. It's just all about being creative. All right, número 5, utilize your campus resources. Again, you are literally on a college camp. You are literally on a college campus filled with so many resources. And if one, you use the resource of networking on your campus like I shared with you, you are already getting ahead for yourself. And again, you can network with these people at mixers, by joining student organizations, specifically student organizations that have alignment with the side hustle you're trying to work on. So again, let's say your side hustle is content creation. You can join the marketing club on your campus. I wouldn't be surprised if nowadays there's a social media club on campus. If there isn't, you should definitely create it. And please, I cannot emphasize this enough. Create content on your campus. There are so many different sceneries on your campus that you can go to and vlog from. You can sit in empty classrooms and write. You can sit in empty classrooms and create talking videos. The things I would do to go back to younger Estrellita, who was at UCSB, to just convince her to create content. But it's okay. I ended up doing so later on at Stan State, but you get the point. Ahora, número 6. Set realistic goals for yourself. And the reason why I say that is because, again, even though you have the world in the palm of your hand and so many opportunities and resources available to you on campus, I also do want you to give compassion to yourself. And a lot of the times, at least for me, what compassion looks like is sitting down and figuring out the realistic portions of my goal setting journey or my side hustle journey, my content creation journey, all that fun stuff. And for me, with having a whole podcast, what made the process more doable for me was, number 1, doing my podcast in seasons. Why? Because let's say I started my podcast during winter break with interview episodes, solo episodes, and continue it even during the slow weeks of the semester where, you know, things aren't really getting picked up, but you still have to be doing your readings and all that fun stuff. But right before midterms would hit, I would slowly start wrapping up the podcast season. So that way, when I would take my quote unquote break for like 2 months or so, it didn't feel like I didn't feel like I was letting myself down because mentally I was like, no, Estrella, like the podcast, it's season based. So you have to have breaks throughout the year in between seasons so that you can catch up, brainstorm better, and all that fun stuff. Another example on how I set realistic goals for myself as a full-time podcaster, or what felt like a full-time podcaster, was allowing myself to have an audio-only podcast. Now, over the years, we have explored here at Cafecito con Estrellita video podcasting, but again, we always end up going back and reverting to just solely audio-focused episodes because that's just what works with us and our time management and all that fun stuff. And sometimes it's okay if you can do only what you know you can do on top of everything else. Now, again, for me, these are realistic goals that I would set for myself so that one, I wouldn't feel like I was betraying myself just because I literally couldn't do it all, but I could still do enough because I wanted to get somewhere with Cafecito con Estrellita long-term. Compassion, just give yourself compassion as you're figuring out all of this because, again, not only are you navigating and figuring out college with little to no support, a little to no blueprint, you're also navigating and figuring out the world of side hustles for the first time, specifically if you're navigating the world of side hustles that are virtual. All right, and número 7, my last tip for all of you. Literally self-care when you can. And I know it probably sounds like, what, Estrella, didn't you just tell us whatever downtime we have in between classes, use our Friday and Saturday nights to work and cultivate the core concept of our side hustles, specifically virtually? Yes. But I would be lying to you if I didn't tell you that there were times where I had to make sure Sunday I did nothing but rot. And that's totally okay. Because if we don't have those moments to literally just turn off our brains, not literally, but you know what I mean, and just reflect, think back, or not think at all, watch some reality TV, trash TV, whatever the case may be, then what's the point? Just kidding. No, but seriously, throughout all the amazing things that you are doing as a first-gen student, a first-gen grad, implement your self-care, have fun. You will find the fun in it, and you will find those moments that are most aligned with you to just turn it off, relax, and all that fun stuff. All right, mi gente, I hope you enjoyed this week's video. If you haven't already, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It would mean the world. If you are interested in working one-on-one or in a community support-like system, please check out the Cafecito con Estrellita membership. I will be linking it down below. And please remember, no matter what side hustle you're doing, whether it's a virtual type side hustle, an in-person side hustle, you will figure out the right routine, find the right tools for you to get it done at the magnitude that is most aligned with you. Cuídense y hablamos pronto. Adiós.